Hey there. Welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. With every episode, we're discussing what it takes to pursue purpose intentionally while doing everything we have in our hearts to do. Together, we're embracing our multi-layered lives with faith, know-how, and grit. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine, and I'm ready to go global with you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Girl Go Global podcast, where faith and works are empowered. I have with me a dynamic guest by the name of Miss Jasmin Smith. She is an award-winning business coach who has been distinguished by the governor of Alaska for her achievements as a community leader, entrepreneur, and business coach. She is the owner of Baby Vend Unlimited, which was born out of her lived experiences as a single mother with twins, no less. Baby Vend is a company determined to create solutions for parents who need access to baby necessities in a pinch. Not only that, Jasmine is still able to be a business coach, all while being a single mother, running a multi-million-dollar business. She has coached more than 250 entrepreneurs across the country. I have with me Miss Jasmine. Please, Jasmine, introduce yourself to the Girl Go Global community.
Well, I don't know what to say to an intro like that. my name is Jasmin Smith. I am originally from Savannah, Georgia, but I'm super, super proud to be a lifelong Alaskan. I am a lover of all things entrepreneurship. I am a self-proclaimed serial entrepreneur and a community organizer because I just love my community and I really want to, start and grow successful businesses so I can in turn give back and help make our communities better. So like you said, I do Baby Vend. I founded a co-working space called Emoja Co-working, my favorite Kwanzaa principle. And I also do business development consulting, especially for women businesses, minority-owned businesses, and then businesses located in underrepresented parts of my city. So it's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Jasmine. It was so great to hear from you and to have you join me on this podcast. It's been such an honor just to kind of have you on here to chat with you because I know you're so busy. We've met, I guess it was, what was it, 2018 or so, 17?
I think so, yeah.
Really? And to have you host us in Alaska and just to kind of learn a little bit more about the culture there. And I can't wait to get back there just to kind of in the summer, of course.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. You got to come in the summertime. Y'all came like February.
Yeah, it was still great. And I enjoyed myself, but I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, particularly because you are doing some great things in Alaska. You're doing great things in the vending space. And I want to just have a conversation with you about everything that you're doing. And perhaps you can jump into some tips, tools, and strategies for people who are looking to get into your space. But most of all, just share some of your knowledge because you are literally a wealth of knowledge. Now, the Girl Go Global community and podcast is really about empowering women to reach the calling that they feel from within and reach their destiny. And we're talking about faith, we talk about strategy, and we talk about that courage to step out and do various things. So you are one of those people that I know is grounded in your faith, and your faith has taken you to leaps and bounds. And I just really want to open up our conversation just to kind of learn more about what got you into business, and in particular, the vending space, because you don't typically hear about people going into that space. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Man, so yeah. I got into vending just as a parent with the need, shopping at the mall. I had my baby twins and my son was out of diapers and I was just kind of stressed out like, oh my gosh, is there like a machine or something? So I went home and I kind of researched. I studied the market and I asked myself, is this a big market? Is it a small market? Is there opportunities for me to get in? What can I do that has not been done before? How can I do things different and make a unique brand? And honestly, that's how Baby Vend was born. I tell the very honest story. I had no idea how to do anything with a vending machine with the exception of swipe my card and get my product. So it was a very complicated learning experience. And at the time, I didn't feel like I had any support. I was just figuring out as I went along. I had another job at the time, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to save my money and buy a vending machine. I'm going to put it in my garage, and I'm just going to learn. And from there, I just said, every night when my kids went to bed, I would go to my garage and just practice vending, practice machine, figure out how to put stuff in it, and just teach myself, because there wasn't that support that is wide known. So for me, it was venturing into a brand new industry. But throughout the steps, I was committed to teach others. I was very transparent in being like, I have done service-based businesses my whole career. So to go from a service-based business to vending, which people don't know, vending is the second hardest type of business, second to a restaurant. That was a learning curve.
Really?
So yes, yes. I tell people all the time, it's the hardest business I've started, but it's so rewarding. And I'm happy that we're now at a place where we can bless others and, support others with their business, and they don't have to feel how I felt when I got started.
Wow, that's so good. You mentioned so much that I want to delve deeper into. What does it take for someone to even purchase a vending machine?
Yeah, so I tell people with vending, you start backwards. You have to first ask yourself, what do you want to vend? There are two vending industries out there. You have vending and you have custom vending. And custom vending is what I'm in, and it's still fairly new. It means you're vending something other than soda, candy, snacks, water, that stuff.
Okay.
So I tell people, the number one thing is thinking about what you want to vend, because there are so many different kinds of machines that are best and appropriate for those kind of, like types of like products. And then you ask yourself, I can get a machine from America. I can get a machine from China. What's going to be the best for what I'm trying to do and the best quality?
Gotcha.
So I tell people, it's easy to Google vending machine. You're going to find thousands of companies who say, buy my machine. But you got to ask yourself, how's the quality? How's the customer service? What kind of tech support do they have? What kind of warranty? And can this machine even fit my stuff? So those are just a few questions that, like, I tell people, ask before they just see a pretty shiny machine and say, I'm gonna buy it. But my blessing is, like, we've come so far and had so many folks that we partner with, that we're in the process of trying to get our own vending machine warehouse so we can build our own machine. So that excites me.
That's interesting. That's so interesting. Yeah. So is a vending machine thousands of dollars? Do you go through a vendor? Obviously, it sounds like you did a lot of research, and there are options for, I guess, building your own or going through another company, maybe overseas or here in the U.S. What does it cost? Like, what's the price point on a vending machine? Maybe like
so
for
a
snacks
bare
and
basics
things.
to the point. If you're just doing like soda and snacks, a good quality one, no less than 3,000.
Okay.
A bare basics to the point custom machine to like vend other stuff, no less than maybe 7,000.
Gotcha.
They have refurbished machines and used machines that run a little bit cheaper, but I say for that level of money, you should just go new and make sure it's gonna last you. So yeah, it can range from 3,000 up to 6,000. I've seen some machines as much as 40,000, but I told myself I don't want to be that expensive, so we never go that high.
Wow. So, man, it's so much to delve into this conversation. So from the point of all of your research until you purchased your first vending machine, how long did that take you?
So from research to first vending machine, it was 7 months.
Okay.
And because I had to save money, I had to research what I was doing and save. So yeah, it was about 7 months. And I actually kind of got like, I don't know, I feel like I kept getting blessed along the way. I went on Craigslist, which probably in retrospect, I would have done that. But I went on Craigslist, and a lady who just happened to be pregnant was like, I was going to start my own vending company. I got pregnant. I can't do it anymore. Your machine isn't made for this, but I could teach you how to customize it because I love what you're doing. So for me, that was like, oh, snap. I got a pregnant woman. Like, okay, I'm on the right track here.
That's
so
right
that's
in your space.
I'm like, oh my God, this is for you. And she gets it. So that's how I got into it.
Wow. So that's so interesting. And now that you have how many vending machines do you have now?
Oh man. I don't know the set number, but I do know, let me see. We have machines in Anchorage and Fairbanks, Seattle and Tacoma, the whole LA area, down to San Diego,
My
San
God.
Francisco, Reno. We have Phoenix and Tucson, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Rochester, Midland, El Paso, McAllen. We have machines from Miami, Tampa, Orlando, all the way up to Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Atlanta area. We have a couple. Maryland, Virginia, DC areas getting one at their airport. And then our furthest north machine in that region is Staten Island. So I don't know, guess maybe 30, 40, but I know more than that, somewhere around there. I know the states and cities more. Yeah.
Got you. This is great. This is a really great conversation. So how long did you take to build from that 1 to maybe 30 plus?
2 years. And that required patience. My very first contract in machine location was Shockwave in Anchorage, Alaska.
Is that
the trampoline park? It's a trampoline park. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then from there, my first big contract that I was like really excited about was a Ted Stevens Airport. And I had enough sense to understand, like, no matter how happy I am, I purposely only had one machine for a year because I knew one is easy, but to scale, we had to be ready. So I didn't rush it at first.
2 years. I mean, for some, what you've done, what you've managed to accomplish in 2 years is just phenomenal. I can't say that it was slow from my eyes. I know probably while you're in the thick of the research and development planning and negotiation and the raising of capital, that may seem like it's long and laborious, but 2 years is for what you've managed to accomplish and the money that you've managed to raise. I heard you on a recent not so long ago, Black Directory Call, when you talked about the capital you were able to raise and win and earn through pitch contests and other types of investors and things of that nature. It's just really phenomenal.
Right. Yeah. And it was like, yeah. And I'm going to tell you though, like I tell people all the time, initially I didn't have that. It took time and I had to like work for it. And, as a Black woman in business, I feel like I had to triple prove myself to like get the funding. So it took patience and like time, and I had to like prove myself and prove my concept to finally get there. And when I got there, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this is a big blessing, and it was a lot of work, but the circle now and the support is just unreal.
Wow. So tell me a little bit, how long, let's go back for a moment. How long have you been in business? I know you've been coaching for quite a while. You've done a lot of different businesses in Alaska, but how long have you been in business?
Yeah. So my very first business that I can like always tell the story is when I was 19 in college in Atlanta. At that time, I had thought I wanted to be a music business manager. So I went to UC Berkeley to be a certified music business manager. And at the time, everybody in school, all the rappers and all them, told me I talked proper. So they would pay me to call venues and stuff for them, to book shows for them, and then teach them how to do contracts and stuff. So that's why I have like a weird special place in my heart for all things like music and the artists, because like when I very first got started, they were the first people that I consulted. And it was just like, this is how you sound professional. This is how you make a basic agreement. This is what you say when you call a venue. And I realized, like, oh, I have power in this. This is nice. This is something different. So I kind of, from there, I went and did the majority of my business in the villages because Anchorage was saturated, and I found my niche. My niche is working with like cultural groups and non-traditional communities and stuff like that, and teaching them how to start and grow their business, but doing it in a way that was like culturally responsive and sensitive. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So when I was 20, that was my first business, was working with rappers. And then from there, in my mid 20s, I went back to the village. I lived in the village in high school for a little while. My mom sent me out there on an exchange program, and I ended up loving it and having a lot of relationships. So I started my second business out there.
Okay. Amazing that you are literally running Baby Vend Unlimited, right? You have so many different vending machines, 40 plus vending machines across the country. Where did you get the faith to kind of step out and say, I'm going to do this? And by the way, I'm going to do it in a way that's unlimited, that overtakes leaps and bounds that you might have even imagined?
Honestly, my faith at that moment in that situation was my kids. I mean, I was a first time parent. I had twins. I was, going through a divorce, even though they were babies. And I just knew that I had to transition and pivot somehow. So on top of just seeing a need, I just was committed that I had to figure this out. I was in it was a rough spot, kind of a dark place. And I was still kind of finding myself post parenting, finding myself post relationship fail. And for me, Baby Vend became like a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, something that I could look forward to, something that I really like latched onto and I believed in. And that honestly kept me going on like my darkest, most complicated day, truthfully.
Mm. Wow, that's so good. How do you stay grounded? When you're running $1 million business, $1 million brand, let's be clear, you can't be having all these vending machines and not be. And I know that you once recently run some investment types of monies to support your business. And I really like to get into that further in our conversation. But how does it keep you grounded? What organizational skills do you put in place? Do you have a staff that helps to support you?
Yeah. So when I first started, it was literally me plus one. And I had, shout out to Casey. Casey really held it down and she helped me, I joke, get the machine out of my garage. And after we grew and we pivoted, the one thing that I always fall back on business, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I always make myself a job description. So I knew that I was venturing into something different. I knew that I was going to have to multitask and juggle a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things. And a thing that has always helped me with my business, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I tell other entrepreneurs and myself, make a job description for yourself.
That's good.
Treat yourself like you would treat somebody on your payroll working for you. And I really use that job description to not only develop what I had to do in terms of oversight for myself, but I was able to use that job description to say, these are the tasks that I have to do, but I don't really enjoy them. So when it's time to hire, I'm probably going to hire these first. Okay. Or these are the things that's like more, time consuming that I got to do regularly versus once in a while. So like that simple like activity is something that I'm really serious about. And I was able to have better clarity when it was time to hire because I knew what I needed them to do. And I knew that doing it strength-based, they were doing something that I wasn't good at. Therefore, it was easier to let go. I didn't feel the need to micromanage them because I didn't want to do it in the first place.
So you went from 2 to how many are on your team now?
Yeah, so I went from 2 to 11.
Wow.
And I know we need more, but yeah, it's amazing it's a labor of love and trust to be able to turn your dream over to others. Like even now, I make myself leave the office sometimes and I make myself go on vacation. I make myself not answer because I got to see if my team can handle it or not,
That's good. That's a good strategy. I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs who have scaled in your way, who have said it took a lot of trust to depend on other people to run their baby, their business, if you will. So that's definitely a running theme that I have heard from a number of business owners. Now, if someone wanted to, I guess, get into your industry and they wanted to, for example, are you thinking about franchising your business?
Yeah, so I don't have any franchises, but I do sell my machines and I do provide support. I found that in the vending industry, if there's a great brand, people do sell their machines and allow people to buy them and do their own business. So we do sell our machines. We have people who buy them all the time and they have their own ideas of places to put the machines at, and we have an agreement. But I try to be a little bit more flexible than being a full service franchise, because I want people to have the flexibility to not only get a Baby Vend machine, but kind of customize it to their vision, their needs, and what might be a strength or popular in their community. And honestly, like that's our backbone. So the people running our machines right now are people who buy our machines. that's my number one priority because they're the ones that have my brand out there. So I want to make sure they're supported.
Right. So how do you maintain the level of excellence and value added? You know, if someone else is running one of your branded vending machines, how do you maintain, you know, the level to which you want your business to be known for?
Yeah. So with us, we have a really good, and shout out to Sharita, my sales coordinator. We have a really good pathway to purchase.
Okay.
So from the minute somebody inquires and they say, I want a baby vend machine, it's not a guaranteed yes. First, you got to go through an open house. You got to do some paperwork, some understanding. You get to know our team. You're in a 2-day, 2-part training, part virtual, part in person. And then
Okay.
aside from that, it's having like clear brand expectations and guidelines. So it's us saying, we don't mind if you take your brand and you run with it, but you got to run with it to our standards. And ways that we try to like do that is just by having not just, I'm going to sell you a machine and turn you loose, but having follow-up conversations, having owner support options, having resource drives and folders for them to find what they need. So even if, there's somebody brand new, they go through the same training and steps that we would go through to make sure they're a good fit, and they're going to represent our brand to the level that we would represent our brand.
Wow, that's so good. Seems like you have the systems in place. That's one of the things that I hear from you because if you don't have those systems in place, it's hard to have sustainability in business. So that's just awesome that you already have that groundwork laid out for those who may be interested in joining the Baby Vend Unlimited family. So tell me a little bit about, if you will, the best advice you would give women who want to step into your industry.
Yeah. So the advice I would give them is do it. I would tell them there's a lot of opportunity. I would tell them the first machine is always the hardest because you're finding that norm, and you're trying to find your footing. So my advice is go for it and do it, but have a good plan of action and make sure you have something in your corner in terms of like team infrastructure. The vending industry is an amazing industry in terms of growth and income. However, initially, there's a lot of big decisions to be made, such as like, what machine do I get? What products? Who do I work with? So I would tell them, if they can, have a mentor who can have those initial conversations with you before you just jump right into it.
Yeah, that's good. So, and when you have your team in place, you have them all over the country right now. How do you maintain stock like that? That may be a simple question to you, but it's already I have a curiosity around
Yeah.
like
So
something runs out.
so
What
two
happens?
things. On our team, we have regional leads. So I
Hmm.
have somebody who oversees like the Southwest, we have the Midwest, Southeast, Pacific Northwest, Northeast. So we break our country into regions, and there's a lead who oversees all the machines in that area and the team in that area. So although we are an Alaskan based company, we have the office in Atlanta, and then we do have ground partners in different regions. So that way, like, if something happens, a machine breaks, there's a problem or a concern, someone can get help on the ground. And then aside from that, we also have various manufacturing partners. So aside from Baby Vend, we also help people develop their own machine brands,
Hmm.
whether it's, something different and we're more of a consultant. So that's the number one way. We also have a software on all of our machines that allows people to remotely monitor. So you can log in online and on an app, and from any location, you can see, is my machine on? Am I making money? Is there a problem, issue, or concern? And that really helps because you don't have to just keep driving to the machine to make sure everything's okay. You can look on your phone or log in online or get an email alert. And that kind of helps put the time down to when issues like do pop up.
Hmm. Man, that's so good. It takes me back to a memory. When I was a kid, my dad had a vending machine, and I remember going around on the weekend collecting the coins and restocking the machines in the different locations that he had placed. So this whole idea about Wi-Fi money or just being able to access it right from where you are, no matter where you are in the country, is dope, right? So thank you so much for sharing that
Yeah.
gem, that tidbit. So Jasmine, if women want to be coached by you, want to be supported by you, I know I have some personal people in my circle who say, "Hey, I cannot wait until you have release this podcast because they are waiting to see how they might be able to work with you." How can people reach out to you for coaching, consulting, training, and or franchising?
Yeah. So if someone's interested in like vending machines, like getting one of our machines or anything to driven that area, they would reach out to sales at babyvendunlimited.com. And that point of contact is actually Sharita. Sharita is great. She can walk them through all the processes to the level that I would. And I come into play when it's time for training. For the consulting, summertime tends to be like our busier season with machines, but we do have a bi-weekly mastermind session that I like to kind of like teach and do with people as a start. And then from there, if they feel like it's a good fit and they're getting good jewels and they like working with me, then we can definitely set up a time to talk and help them with consulting. And they can email me at Jasmine at babyvendunlimited.com. And then, yeah, we can kind of work from there. And I always tell them I love mentoring. I love helping, providing jewels. Some women talk to me one time and like, I'm good. Others say, I want to talk regularly. And others say, thank you. That was the boost I needed. And if I can't help them, I have a really good network of folks that I can send them to. But whether it's the mastermind one-on-one, I love helping and I love being able to give back to other people's businesses.
I know that for sure because when I first met you, you were all about the give back. So I was so
Yes.
enjoyed this conversation. You talked about where you got your faith to step out, and I think your faith comes from your children wanting to build that generational legacy and wealth for them. And then you dropped some gems around how basically God kind of led you to tap in, but you put in that work to do your research, you put in that work to do your backtracking to just kind of look at how to tap into the industry. And once you did that, you put that faith in action and started strategizing through research and optimization around this industry. You got led, girl. So you have definitely gone global. I know firsthand just from learning from you and knowing you over the last several years, you have come a mighty long way, but it's been in a short time. You told us early on that it was about 2 years that it took you to scale this business. So before we get off, I got just a couple more questions for you. One, the first question is, tell us how you gained that access to capital. You have won bucks, you have won dollars, you know what I'm saying? So tell us how you have gained that access to capital, what preparation you put in place, how did you seek it? Just give some information that might help.
Answer, people always want to hear, but it's my truth. A lot of times when you get the big bucks right away and they take it personal and they get offended if someone doesn't jump on right away, give me all the money I need. Or there's this misconception of there's a secret dream grant that's going to just come and make all your wildest dreams come true. And I share the story that I had to be patient because I had to raise the money that I needed for my business. And at first, Baby Vend was self-funded by me. Mm-hmm. And then once I got into that and I was able to save a little bit of money and kind of prove that I also had some stake in the game, then I had to make a bomb business plan with projections out of this world. And from there, I had to not be afraid to say, I need help. Mm-hmm. I need funding. But the thing that I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget is you can't say I need help, I need funding without any other traction or stake in the game. Even if you only have $500, it's yours that you put into the business. So I found that when I was first getting started and I kept coming up to them with like, no, I don't have any money, I don't have anything, but I want you to fund everything for me. It was a hard no. But when I changed my ask to, and I asked more, I've been working for 3 months. I've saved $1,000. I know it ain't much to you, but it's something to me. Here are my projections. Here's my plan. Here's my team. Then the floodgates of funding started opening up. And I saw that people were more receptive to give and help. When I came at them with more of a, this is what I got. What can you match? This is what I can do. What can you do? I had to change my ask. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget that sometimes. It's all in how you ask. You got to have some buy-in,
That's good. They always, you got to have some stake in the game.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard to go to someone and say, I got a dream. Now I didn't invest in it, but I need you to. Like, what are you putting in? So
Right. How about that? That's so
yeah.
good. So did you find, you said, did you work 3 jobs and you just is basically boots in the ground with funding yourself? You then started to raise money. Did you start with friends and family? Did you go to banks? How did you go about that?
I started with friends and family, and I knew that they didn't all have all the money I needed, but I had to come at them correct. I came at
Mm-hmm.
them like they were business. I had a meeting, I rented a little office space, I had my PowerPoint, my presentations. I treated them no different than how I would have treated an investor. And
Mm-hmm.
then I signed up for everything. I signed up for 1 million cups. Every city almost in the country has 1 million cups. It's the opportunity for an entrepreneur to pitch their business as a
Mm.
practice every Wednesday. And when investors come, I signed up for websites like helloalice.com, who has funding, connections, resources. And I had to get out there and get my face out there, talk about my business, my idea. I mean, I couldn't just sit at home waiting for them to learn about me. I had to go and tell them about me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Oh man, that's so good. That's some, and you dropped some really good information because especially because I know a lot of people don't even know the first thing about how to get started with raising money outside of
Yeah.
their friends and family.
Yeah.
So you have around here at the Girl Go Global Community and podcast with talking with Miss Jasmin Smith of the Baby Vend Unlimited. I'm so excited to have spoken to her about her company, how she has managed to scale within just a few short years. And then I know, Jasmine, you also have a new space that you've acquired in Alaska to support business owners. Do you want to tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that before we hop off?
Sure. Yeah. So if you're ever in Alaska and you need a place to work out of, we acquired an old elementary school and we named it Amoja Co-working, which is my favorite Swahili principle for unity. And it is designed to be a come as you are, grassroots, full service co-working space. You can come, rent an office space. We even have on-site childcare on the evenings and the weekends. And for me, that was my community give back. It is hard enough to start a business, but sometimes you are not surrounded by people who get it. And sometimes you have to change your environment as well for innovation to really flow. So I wanted to not only be preaching and talking about how to start a business, but I wanted to also say, if you're ready for big changes and you want to be around those who get it and get you, here's a space for you to work out of and formulate your goals and your idea.
Nice. That's so awesome. And I want to commend you for reaching back to help others. I think one of the greatest things you can embody with one of the love languages of the world is the acts of service. And you truly are an embodiment of acts of service to others. So, Jasmine, I definitely want to commend you on that. And I can't wait to visit the location with my husband in a
Yay.
very near future. So the Girl Go Global community and podcast is all about that faith in those works to live the authentic and the courageous lives that God created us to live. What does it mean to you when I say girls go global? What does it mean to go global?
I mean, well, honestly, when I hear girls go global, I hear girls can do anything. I hear it doesn't matter where you are. You can do something, be somebody, and expand and grow and take it worldwide. And
That's
I
good.
feel like that's yeah. Like I resonate with that on a deep level.
Yeah, I definitely think you are a global girl and you are embracing everything that embodies this community and this podcast. So, what can we expect next? So, since you already got over 40 vending machines, you already have people buying up your vending machines to put their own product in. What's next for Miss Jasmine Unlimited? How about that?
Oh gosh, yeah. So in my immediate future, I'm getting ready for my July sabbatical. Every July, I take the month off from work, and I'm getting ready to do a an RV trip from Washington to Texas with my kids. I love my babies, and I do what I do for them. So that's what you can expect from me in the near future from a mom in a business individual standpoint. I want to hang out with my kids. Um, and then from a business standpoint, truthfully, in vending, we are now working on starting our own Vend University and training
Mm,
program. We're going to partner with the university up here. We're going to partner with one of the unions, and I want to be able to teach other women, especially how they can build their own vending machines and maintain their own vending machines, manufacture, logistics, and I want to really get into like that product and that distribution side of business. So I am currently working on that partnership and collaboration, and making a women founded, ran, and led manufacturing hub. So that's my top twos.
Oh man, you got a lot going on, but I think it's all good things, and it's just like a natural progression. So Jasmine, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on this Girl Go Global podcast episode. This has been a great conversation. And global girls, if you're looking to get in the vending space, please, please, please reach out to Miss Jasmin Smith. She is a great resource. I can attest to that. And if you're ever in Alaska, look her up. Anchorage, Alaska. I can almost guarantee you that someone in Anchorage, Alaska knows Jasmin Smith. Just say her name, literally. So Jasmine, I want to thank you so much for coming. This has been the Girl Go Global podcast, and we are around here having faith, having know-how, and having that grit to reach the authentic, courageous life which God created us. Thank you so much for joining.